Hello, and welcome to Last Week Tonight. This week, we delve into the strange and frankly idiotic world of dumb crimes. We're talking crimes so baffling they'd make a toddler facepalm. And where better to find such absurdity than in the heartland of America, in a little town called Sharon, Pennsylvania? Our journey begins with a tale as old as time, or at least as old as deli meat. Picture this. Two roommates, a seemingly innocent sandwich, and a simmering rage that could only be satisfied by gunfire. Yes, you heard that right. In Sharon, a dispute over a sandwich escalated to the point where one roommate shot the other. Now we've all been there, right? You're craving a midnight snack, you open the fridge, and someone has dared to eat your precious sandwich. It's infuriating, sure, but shooting someone over it? That's taking hangry to a whole new level. The details of this culinary crime spree are still shrouded in mystery. What kind of sandwich was it? Was it a club, a BLT? Was there aioli involved? These are the questions that keep us up at night. The sandwich shooting is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Sharon, Pennsylvania is a veritable treasure trove of ridiculous crimes. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into a world where logic goes on vacation and common sense takes a permanent coffee break. And just a note, in Chapter 2 and onward, the AI is helping to make a point with other possibly made-up stories. Moving on from sandwich-related violence, we arrive at a crime that's decidedly more floral. In the spring of 2024, Sharon experienced a crime wave of truly bizarre proportions. The target? Not banks, not jewelry stores, but innocent, unsuspecting plants. That's right, folks, someone was stealing plants, not just any plants, mind you, but prize-winning petunias, meticulously groomed roses, and even the occasional orchid. The town was in an uproar. Gardening gloves were clutched in fear. Suspicion fell on everyone from squirrels with a green thumb to rogue landscapers with a penchant for petty theft. The police were baffled. The local garden club was outraged. And the perpetrator? Well, they were eventually caught red-handed, or rather green-thumbed, trying to make off with a particularly impressive begonia. Their motive? They simply wanted to brighten up their apartment. Now, we appreciate a good houseplant as much as the next person, but there are legal, less embarrassing ways to acquire them. May we suggest a trip to the local nursery? They even have gift cards. Our next tale of Sharonian shenanigans involves fashion, or rather, a distinct lack thereof. It all started with a rather unfortunate incident at the local Walmart. Seems a gentleman, let's call him Bob, decided that pants were simply too mainstream for his liking. Bob, in his infinite wisdom, chose the underwear aisle as his personal catwalk, strutting his stuff in nothing but his birthday suit and a pair of Crocs. Now, we're all for personal expression, but there's a time and a place for everything, and the Walmart underwear aisle is objectively neither the time nor the place for a nude fashion show. The horrified shoppers alerted the authorities, who apprehended Bob after a brief chase through the dairy aisle. When questioned about his sartorial choices, Bob simply shrugged and said, "It was hot." The judge, unsurprisingly, was not amused. This begs the question, what possesses people to commit crimes of such breathtaking stupidity? Is it a lack of common sense, an excess of confidence, or perhaps just a touch of good old-fashioned boredom? Whatever the reason, one thing is certain. Sharon, Pennsylvania, is a town that never fails to surprise. As we journey deeper into the annals of Sharon's dumbest crimes, we encounter a story that proves even our furry friends aren't immune to bad decisions. This time, the culprit was a mischievous parrot with a penchant for profanity and a rather unfortunate vocabulary. This feathered fiend, let's call him Captain Jack, belonged to a seemingly sweet old lady who lived on the outskirts of town. Captain Jack, however, was anything but sweet. He had a knack for mimicking sounds, and his favorite sound, much to the chagrin of the neighborhood, was a particularly colorful string of expletives. Now, parrot swearing is nothing new. It's practically a rite of passage for any bird owner. But Captain Jack's potty mouth was legendary. He could clear a room faster than a skunk in a perfume factory. Complaints poured in from neighbors, but the sweet old lady insisted it was just the way he talks. The situation escalated when Captain Jack, in a fit of avian pique, decided to unleash his entire repertoire of obscenities during a children's birthday party. The police were called, the children were traumatized, and Captain Jack was last seen being driven away in a squad car, presumably to Parrot Jail. Section 5. The Perils of Public Intoxication. Alcohol, as we all know, can impair judgment, lower inhibitions, and in some cases lead to really bad decisions. This brings us to our next tale, a cautionary reminder that drinking and decision-making are two activities best kept separate. One fateful evening, a group of friends and Sharon decided to celebrate a birthday. Now we're all for a good time, but these revelers took things a tad too far. Fueled by tequila and questionable judgment, they decided to embark on a drunken escapade that involved, wait for it, stealing a traffic cone. Not just any traffic cone, mind you, but the giant orange cone that marked a particularly deep pothole on Main Street. Why steal a traffic cone, you ask? Well, according to our inebriated perpetrators, it looked thirsty. Needless to say, their reign of cone-related terror was short-lived. The police caught them attempting to give the cone a drink from the town fountain. The cone was returned, the friends were arrested, and the pothole on Main Street remained a hazard to drivers everywhere. Section 6. Love, Lies, and Larceny. Love makes people do crazy things, or so the saying goes. In Sharon, Pennsylvania, it seems, love can also make people commit crimes of astounding stupidity. Our next story is a tale of romance gone wrong, very wrong. It all started with an online dating profile, a case of mistaken identity, and a very expensive bottle of perfume. A young woman, let's call her Tiffany, thought she'd found the man of her dreams on a popular dating app. He was handsome, charming, and best of all, he claimed to be a millionaire. Tiffany, smitten and perhaps a tad naive, fell head over heels. He showered her with compliments, promised her the world, and then just as quickly as he'd appeared, he vanished. The only problem? He'd borrowed Tiffany's credit card to buy a $5,000 bottle of perfume for his mother. Needless to say, Tiffany's online Romeo was not who he claimed to be. He was in fact a con artist with a penchant for expensive fragrances and a talent for breaking hearts and emptying wallets. The moral of the story? Love is grand, but always check your credit card statements. Section 7. The Curious Incident of the Cow in the Kitchen. Our next tale takes us from the realm of romantic misadventures to the land of bovine break-ins. It's true, folks. In Sharon, Pennsylvania, even the farm animals have a knack for getting into trouble. One morning, a local family woke up to a sight that could only be described as surreal. There, standing in their kitchen, munching on a bowl of fruit, was a very large, very confused cow. How it got there, no one knows. Theories ranged from alien abduction to a very elaborate prank. The family, understandably bewildered, called the police. The police, equally bewildered, called the local animal control officer. The animal control officer, a seasoned professional with nerves of steel, managed to coax the cow out of the house and back to its presumably less eventful pasture. The cow, christened Bessie by the local news, became a local legend. The family, however, invested in a heavy-duty security system and vowed to be more diligent about locking their doors at night. You know, just in case Bessie ever developed a taste for takeout. Section 8. Technology and Trouble. In this digital age, it seems even crime has gone high-tech. Our next story from the files of Sharon's dumbest crimes involves social media, a misplaced sense of entitlement, and a very public meltdown. A young man, let's call him Chad, decided to treat himself to a new smartphone. The problem, he couldn't really afford it, so Chad did what any rational, responsible adult would do. He took to social media to complain about it. Chad proceeded to post a lengthy rant on Facebook, detailing his woes, lamenting his lack of funds, and even threatening to steal the phone he so desperately desired. Now, we've all been tempted to vent on social media, but Chad's mistake was forgetting that the internet is forever. The police, alerted to Chad's online threats, paid him a visit. They were not amused. Chad was arrested for making terroristic threats, and last we heard he was still trying to explain to the judge that it was all just a misunderstanding. Section 9. A town of head-scratching headlines. So, there you have it, folks. A glimpse into the wacky, wild, and downright dumb world of crime in Sharon, Pennsylvania. From sandwich shootings to cow invasions, public nudity to parrot profanity, this little town has seen it all. These stories leave us with one burning question: how? How can people make such baffling, boneheaded decisions? Is it the water, the air, or is it simply that in the grand tapestry of human existence, there will always be those who choose the path of utter absurdity? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: Sharon, Pennsylvania, will forever hold a special place in our hearts, and by special we mean bafflingly bizarre. Until next time, folks, remember, crime doesn't always pay, but it sure can be entertainingly stupid.